Thank you so much, Umanga, and welcome members of District 100 and perhaps also visitors from other districts. Well, I'm super excited to talk to you about something that is so important to me, and I hope and trust that it's important to you as well. I take great pride in belonging to a very strong club, and I'm part of the reason it is, just as my colleagues around me that sit in those meetings are. The members of my club that sit on that executive meeting are responsible. And one of the things that we also really enjoy is that each person in our club is responsible, is a co-owner of our club, and is responsible for making it a success in each year. It is our legacy, it is our reputation, and we feel proud when guests walk into our club and say, "Oh my goodness, I had so much fun. I learned so much. I want to be part of this." And so currently our club has 31 members and we have guests most every week and we're thriving. So very proud of that. And so why are not all clubs that way? Well, there's a number of factors, but one of the major factors for me, because I believe in planning and I believe in planning for success. None of us would have got here today, even to this training event, if we wouldn't have planned. We didn't just happen to run into somebody on the street that handed us a tablet that said, "Hey, get connected, we're doing officer training." No, we planned. When we go to convention, we have to sit down and plan. We have to do the budget. We have to do the traveling. We have to make arrangements at work or with our families. All these things take planning. We plan as human beings things every day, all day long. So why would we not choose to plan our education? We pay the tuition, we sign up, we make a commitment to going to our meetings. Why wouldn't we want to be part of a plan to be the best club that we could be? See, I pay the very same tuition fees as you do. Well, I pay in Canadian dollars, so I pay way more dollars, but I pay the same perceived value for the Toastmasters program. And I get the benefit of 31 people giving me evaluations. I get the resources and the stories and the energy of 31 people every week when we meet. Versus if you have 8 in your club, for your price, you get 8 people to give you feedback. You get to do double duty. I get weeks off sometimes where I don't have to do a role. So we have different experiences. We pay the same price, and we have different reputations. See, when Smedley put the Toastmaster program together, and I'm just going to speak clear and plain for a few minutes here, he said that clubs needed a minimum of 20 members. Now, there's no blame or shame about this discussion. It's just the reality. And it's the fact that he talked about having 20 members so that we could have a quality program. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never been really satisfied with just getting by or doing the minimum or even less than minimum and settling, especially when it was in my power and with my pals in Toastmasters to make it different, or my colleagues at work to make it better, or my friends to make a social situation better. And that's how I feel about the club success plan, that we can make plans. And, you know, there's a saying by Benjamin Franklin that says, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. But what about the Peter Drucker quotation that says, plans are the blueprints of success? I like that one because I like the word success. And I like the fact that we can make a blueprint and we can put our uniqueness into that blueprint. When I look at the club success plan, I recognize that this is like giving us the outline of what our project is this year as an education organization, say we signed up for our masters in teamwork and leadership at the club level. So look at it as, well, our project this year, here's the criteria for our project. And I'm going to go through that criteria with you because it's new this year. It's changed. And so I want to make sure that you're working on the most current club success plan and the criteria around it this year that's changed. But look at sitting down and making that plan. It's like that master project at college or university, and we've got to bring the team together in our club. We've all got to work together to get over the finish line, the pass line, and meet the criteria, to meet the goals, to have success, because the club success plan is the blueprint, and the distinguished club plan is actually our report card of how we do on our plan. So I love that concept when we put it into the education concept. Now, one of the things I want to say right up front before I get sharing the club success plan with you is that this year, all clubs must complete and submit a club success plan by September 30th to be eligible to achieve distinguished club status. Okay, so to get in the door to be a distinguished club, you must submit a club success plan at the beginning of the year. Now, some data about that. First of all, the club success plan is accessible to all of you through Club Central. So your club officers can access it at any time. And when you look at the club success plan, your club executive committee determines what the club will plan to accomplish this year. But I would hope that they do it in consultation with the club. They're going to have the final say because they're signing off on it, and that's their responsibility as an executive. You're being the executive, but include your club members also so that they get buy-in and feel motivated. Make sure that your vision is attainable and inspiring so that the club members are motivated to get involved and help achieve the goals that you set. Club officers, through the club success plan, need to look at how you're going to communicate, how you're going to address conflict or disagreements, and how to hold yourselves accountable. All transferable skills into your life, whether it's in the community, whether in your home, workplace, or in the Toastmasters environment. Club officers need to look at, or ideally would evaluate your current circumstances, establish specific goals, and then develop the strategies and tactics necessary to achieve that success. So what are the things we need to do as a club? And then looking at also identifying the resources that you need. Who needs to help you with this? Who's going to achieve the education? How are we going to do this in terms of timeline? And how are we going to track our accomplishments? All those things need to be worked out because that's all part of a good project plan that you're building using this outline. Earning recognition is something that a club does, not with the executive, but with the whole club. All the members working towards that. Nobody can accomplish it alone. It's only a team effort, and you only get there all winners together. That's the way it works. So everybody wins and loses together in the team effort. The other thing I want to say is, when you set the plan and you share it with your club, invite your club members to shadow the executive members. Invite them to attend your club executive, because this builds succession. And if you're sitting there and going, we don't have enough members to do that, I'll go back to one of my original statements of Smedley saying you need 20 members to run a quality club minimum. So if you don't have 20, put that membership goal, your first goal, so that you can start and build that succession plan and sharing those responsibilities, bringing those new members on and getting them to experience it, not from the full responsibility right away, but from seeing how exciting it is to build a plan and work a plan and all the transferable skills that are accessible for them through the club success plan. So there's a lot of resources for the club officers when you get into Club Central and start looking at the club success plan. But we'll walk through that in a few minutes and have a look at that plan. Please be sure to make that you've got the current one, but also make it a living document. When you complete and submit your plan by September 30th, which makes you eligible to participate in the Distinguished Club Plan, which you all want to do, follow up with it. Bring it out, review it with the club, give the status report on it, and celebrate each milestone that you accomplish on it. So for example, when your club officers are trained, here you are getting trained, report that goes on your club success plan. And when your administrative documents are signed and sent in, and your officer lists are filed, celebrate that, because now if you've got 2 officer or 4 officers trained and your club list in, you've got 2 criteria achieved already. So celebrate it so that the members and the new members are aware of what you're doing and how that's working. And Yamanga posted the club success plan in the chat. So thank you so much, Yamanga, so that people will make sure that they get a new one. So let's have a look at it. And I'm going to actually share this document. But before I do that, before I share the document, because I'm going to disappear and I can't see you a lot before we do it, I'm going to invite you that if you have questions, to please put your questions in the chat. And Yamanga, if you can track that for me and let me know or interrupt if there's something there pressing and I haven't seen it. Or you could also raise your hand and hopefully you'll come to the top of my screen and I'll be able to see you. So those 2 options, if you've got comments or you want to ask a question. So perfect for that. So I wanted to ask a question. Given that you're a club officer, who would like to, and I don't want you looking it up, do not look up, this is going to be an integrity question. Who can recite for me the club mission? Raise your hand, be proud, be loud, be first. Who can recite the club mission? It's what we go to club for every week. Nobody? Okay, you're all looking up. Okay, let me read it to you. We provide a supportive, positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. I would plead with you to take that mission and read it in your club each week to set the tone that we're here in a supportive, positive learning experience where you, me, are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. It sets a tone for what you're doing there, why you're there for that hour or hour and a half, whatever it might be, and what the purpose is each week. So just my opinion on that. And those of you that know me know I have many opinions, but I love opening with the mission. We're just forming a new community club where I now live, and we do the club mission, and our new members and guests are always curious about what it is. And they say, oh, it's an education program. Oh, yes, it does feel supportive. So it invites good comments as well. So I'm going to go on and share with you the club success plan and walk through it, because it contains all the elements necessary to achieve your club goals: the what, how, why, who, when, and what should be done, when it needs to be done. And also the thanks, Lori. I see. How do we submit the club success plan for credit? My understanding is that it is completed online and you submit it online, so it would go through Club Central. Yamanga, is that correct?
Yes.
Good. Okay, perfect. So you complete it online, Lori, and everyone else, and you submit it online. Great. Okay, let's have a look at this new product and what it's all about. Club Success Plan. It talks about it being a helpful resource, and we're just going to work down through this because it gives you the qualifying requirements. And you'll see some differences here from last year if you did a club success plan last year and planned for your success. You'll see that we have distinguished status down the left-hand column. We have select, distinguished, president's distinguished. And for those high achievers that were always looking for a challenge because they had 20 members or more and they were always getting 10 goals, the board has created us another category called Smedley's Distinguished. You'll see that the club success plan needs to be submitted through Club Central by September 30th. This, when you go into a game, if you're playing a game, and just to qualify to play the game, you need to submit your plan. Just the way you would if you have to go in and there's a qualifying round to play the game. This is what you have to do. You have to submit by the 30th. So get your executive together. It's a great team exercise. Discuss it with your club and put together a workable plan. We're looking at, if you're making distinguished, you've got 20 total members or a net growth of 3. So that means if you don't have 20, you've got to have a +3 over what your base was at the end of this past year on June 30th. So you've got to do some data analysis, and you would achieve 5 goals. Select distinguished is going to be 20 total or a net growth of 5, and then 7 goals achieved. Presidents, you've got to have 20 total members or more and 9 goals. And then Smedley's, 25 total or more and 10 goals. So that is what the requirements are for the criteria this year that you are a club executive for. Now you'll note under here, newly chartered clubs, the due date is 90 days after your charter date, so that you want to be able to get that club success plan in for those new clubs if you happen to be part of a new club, and to have that done. And clubs that charter, well, you can read the details there. So total member count, this is important to note because sometimes there's confusion when we have clubs, members transfer into our clubs. Transfer members do not count towards your total member count. Total member count consists of renewing members, dual members, so people that belong to a number of different clubs, new members, charter members, and reinstated members, but not transfer members until there is another renewal period, and then they count as your member, right? But until there is a renewal that takes them off their previous club's roster and puts them on yours, they do not count. So if you're counting 4 new members and 4 new members, transfers will not count. Okay, so let's have a look at the 10 goals, because they're put in categories, and I love this because I love groups and it makes neat pictures and easy to remember. So the education, not unlike what it was, we're looking at 4 level 1 award achieved. This, when I look at the dashboard and I look at clubs, I look at seeing, are they actually getting their members working in pathways? And we see that right away because we see if there's level 1s showing up. And then you have to have 4 level 1s achieved, 2 level 2 awards achieved, and then 2 more level 2 awards. So basically 4 level 2s, 2 level 3s, 1 level 4 path completion or DTM awarded, and then 1 more level 4 path completion or DTM award achieved. So that's your education requirements when you're looking, and that's 6 goals. Membership, you have to have 4 new, dual, or reinstating members, and then 4 more. So there's your next 2, which are your membership goals, which you have to have the membership requirements listed so that you can actually play. And then a minimum of 4 club officer roles trained during each of the 2 training periods. So I know that District 100 puts a lot of effort into your COT training, a lot. And there's no reason not to show up for 2 training periods, because you're going to hear different stuff. You're going to hear different material on the first training session than you're going to hear on the second. You'll always learn something at COT. Personal example, I've been in Toastmasters for 43 years. I know, I joined when I was 7. And I have gone to club officer training at least 2 times a year, sometimes 6 or 8 times a year in every year that I've been. And I have never once gone to a COT where I didn't walk out going, that reminded me that I used to know that and I'd forgotten that. Or, I never thought of it that way before. Or, oh, that was new. So come with the mindset that I'm going to contribute. I'm going to be in that mindset that I'm going to be curious and find something new, and you will inevitably find something new. So it's easy to come to 2 training periods. Besides, we're leaders, we're leading a team, so we can use all the training we can get, because the goal is to be a different leader at the end of this year than the one we are at the beginning of the year. Or why are we in a class doing this? The other question I have for you in your club is, do you care, or do you give thought to what 4 club officer roles you train? Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, we train all our 7 officers. And to you, I say, yoo-hoo, congratulations, way to go. And isn't that the ideal? Absolutely. Why wouldn't we want all our leaders to be trained and getting the max benefit of what they're spending time doing? However, imagine if my club sends my club president, my VP Ed, my VP membership, and my public relations officer versus my colleagues club who sends their secretary. And now I'm not saying one office is more important than the other, but when we look at leadership training and everybody leading, they send public relations, secretary, treasurer, and sergeant at arms. Now, where does the leadership happen when, as goes the leader, so goes the group? Where is the leadership? If the president doesn't show up, who's leading? We all can lead, but they've been elected to be the leader. What if the Ed VP doesn't come and learn about the new plan? Or the VPM doesn't know that, or didn't get reminded that, hey, transferred members don't count. Those kinds of details that are so important. So really think about who you're training and setting your club up for success, because we all want to be successful. I never want to play on a losing team, because I'm going to go out and play my hardest to be on the winning team. And I'm going to have a great experience, as I know you would be. So think about those when you're getting your team to come for training. Aim for 7 and have 7 trained leaders so that they can train and bring along your succession people as new members. And then our administration goals here: on-time payments of membership dues. This is not a difficult goal. Plan ahead, plan right now. You know renewals are going to happen in September. You know they're going to happen in April. They're not going to change that. Plan now, figure it out how it's going to work. You want to have on-time payment of membership, and you need to submit a minimum of 8 members when you do that. If you've got laggers in your club, send the 8 that you've got in to be on time, or send the 15 that you've got and collect the other 12 later and submit them later. And then you've got that on-time submission of the club officer list as well. Again, no reason to miss that. Fill it out and send it. Delegate it and make sure it gets done. This is just an well, not just, but this is an administrative function that we need to get done. Okay, so any comments or questions on that? Okay, great. I see somebody's answered about reinstatement, so that's perfect. Thank you. Okay, so here we go, where as we move down the plan, this is where you need to look at talking to your club members. You need to figure out with your VP Ed and your VP membership and talking to the individuals. Don't put my name down unless you've asked me, because that's my reputation. I don't want somebody coming to me on May the 30th saying, Pat, we've got you down for a level 1 and a level 4. I'm going, you needed to tell me 10 months ago. Right? Like, don't keep this a secret. Make this transparent with your team so that you can build people up and help them be successful, and let them set a goal and encourage them to set a stretch goal. So now you're listing up to 6 people who are likely to earn a level 1. And if you've got lots of new members, you're going to be adding to this as time goes on. Because the reality is, you could have somebody join in December and they could make a level 1 by June. Mentoring, supporting them, making sure that they get places on the agenda, that they get some training on how to put presentations together. They could do a level 1. It's totally doable. Then goal 2, you want to list 3 people or more. You might have more who are going to earn a level 3 or a level 2, pardon me. And then you've got the goal 3 is the people for a level 2. And so all of this is just your details. So now you've got the overall goal. Now you're filling in. And this is where you want to have these real conversations with the more mature members of your club to make sure that they're still working through, while they're mentoring new members, that they're also working their program. Even if you're a district officer, my goodness, every time you speak, you can be doing a project in Pathways. You just have to look at Pathways and say, where does it fit? Am I doing a presentation? Where does it fit? Take advantage of it. Now we have your path 4s and here, and for goals 5 and 6. And then here's your strategies and tactics. This is where you want to talk about this is an important part of the team building in your club executive. How will your club prepare its new members to work in pathways? Who's responsible for showing them base camp? I love this question because let's not assume that it's you. Or don't assume it's me. Don't assume anything. Put a name down. If it's the mentor of the person, if you have a strong mentoring program in your club and it's the mentor responsibility, hold them accountable somehow because the mentor might not remember. So who holds the mentor responsible? Or like, is that VPM in your club? Is that VP Ed? Is that president? Decide right here in this plan so that you've got a plan, you work the plan, and you say, oh, and maybe you have a monthly orientation in your club. And you say, every month, the last Friday of the month, we have orientation for our members for both base camp and pathways. And here's where it is. And here's how it's done. And it's a standard. Or maybe in your situation, you have a district level where this happens. So some districts have it set up that it happens at the district level. So you need to find this out. This is your responsibility as the leader of all the people in your club who have come to purchase Toastmaster training to become better communicators and leaders. It's your responsibility to create the culture and set up this program so they actually learn the program that they're paying for. Okay. So, and thank you for signing up to be the leader of this program because lots of people did it for me. So I'm happy to do it for other people. So we want to look at that base camp and get that explained. So you know you have to have somebody that understands base camp and can teach it and explain it and answer all the questions. And then looking at ways of motivating members to progress through pathways. Let's just stop for a minute. What are some ways, let's just stop. What are some ways that you use to motivate your members? Just write them in chat. How do you motivate your members to achieve in pathways? Celebrate progress. I love it, Sue. I love it. Encouragement, friendly follow-up. Thanks, Anthony. Recognize achievements, Randy. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Don't we all want to get called up? Don't we all, well, even just called out, right? And celebrated, somebody to say, oh, today we want to celebrate Pat completed a level 4. Everybody, round of applause for Pat. And today we also saw, Suzanne deliver her icebreaker, and in a few months we're going to celebrate her level 1. Like, call people, give them a reputation to live up to, create that environment of success and excitement and achievement in your club, and people will show up and flourish in it. Yeah. So Anthony, again, celebration, recognition of milestones, absolutely. And then Bill says, we have our DCP goals on the back of our agendas and track their pathway. I love it. Great idea. See, I learned something different today. I'm glad I came to COT. Never thought of putting it on the back of the agenda with their goals. I love it. Thank you. What wonderful. Martha, encourage growth and build trust. Oh, yes. You have to have trust for this to happen because we fall forward in Toastmasters. We get up, we fail, we fall, we get up, they love us, we try again, we get feedback. Yes. Roger, what is a speech you have to give at your work, family, or other social club? You can practice here. Okay, yes, absolutely. Lots of reasons for being in Toastmasters. Yeah, love it. Thank you for sharing, everyone. Those are great ideas. I love the way that we motivate our members. So grab something for you that might work for your club and take it away. Now here we are with membership goals. Here's qualifying requirements. A qualifying requirement is a prerequisite or prior condition to participating in the Distinguished Club program. To be eligible for recognition, a club must meet the following 3 requirements. You must be in good standing according to Policy 2.0, Club and Membership Eligibility, Section 4. Okay, so you can look that up. So you must be in good standing. That means you're paid and have certain number. You must have either 20 members or a net growth of at least 3 new, dual, or reinstating members. And a club must submit a club success plan by September 30th. So it's like, if you want to play this game, you've got to have this criteria completed. If any qualifying requirement is not met, and please be diligent about this, because there is so much heartbreak every year on June 30th when clubs say, but we got all our education achievements, and we go, but you didn't enter the arena to play. You didn't make sure your qualifying requirements were finished or complete before, so that you could actually play the Distinguished Club game. So make sure, and I'm not meaning that it's a game, but I'm putting it in the context of there's pre-requirements to get into the arena so you can participate. And I just really want you to be able to do that. Okay, so you can't earn it if it doesn't happen. So you want to look at, here we go, in terms of making sure your minimum membership base is needed to meet this, or that you've got it correct to meet this qualifying requirement. So you want to look at the dashboard. If you have never been to the dashboard, which I know lots of club officers may not have ever been to the dashboard for your club, please reach out to your area division directors or your district team and ask, you preferably to your area, your division leaders, because they're supporting you directly. Ask them to help you get onto the dashboard and discover the world of data, because guess what? I can look up your club and I know how many goals you got last year, and I know how many members you lost and how many new members you got and how far you are in pathways with your members. So you are transparent to the world, and you should be able to see that also. And then it's fun because you can track other clubs, and you can even have a competition in your area if you're so inclined. So you want to get your membership base as of July 1st so that you know what it is and you're clear. And then you set your membership goal for 1 year later, for June 30th. So what is appropriate? Be reasonable so that you can achieve it. If you haven't had any guests in the past year, or you haven't had any new members, maybe you want to aim for 3 new members so that you can actually have that net gain and not lose any members. If you are regularly getting members and you're at 20, maybe your goal is to get a cushion and have 24 or 25. Is that reasonable? Depending on where you are, how you market your club, and what kind of guests you get, and what your conversion rate is. So all of those things analyze when you're setting this goal, so that people don't look at it and go, oh, are you kidding me? We haven't had a guest for 2 years. Well, that would be a red flag that we've got to get a marketing plan going. So when we do the data, there's always stuff to learn. There's information to learn from the data in terms of what do we need to do. So don't just skip over it, but go, oh my goodness. And when you get on the dashboard, go back to the previous years of your club. Don't just look at last year, but look at the past 5 years and say, what's happened to our membership? And if you change the status of your club from maybe you used to be an in-person club and you were 25 members and you were perking along, and then the pandemic came along, you went online and you've stayed online, but you're struggling to get membership, have a serious conversation at your club. online the best format for your club? Don't just accept what is, but that this is where you build the plan for success. So this is where you question the status quo. What do we need to do and how are we going to do it? Because you're the leaders. You're going to lead the group. So here we're looking at members renewing. And what are some things that would encourage people to renew? Just write in chat quickly. Why would people renew in your club? And what do you do to get them to renew? Anybody? Okay, they're excited. Thanks, Sue, by being active and making progress and friends. Yes. When we remind people of the transferable skills that they're learning, people get excited. Ask them to, maybe people are encouraged to give a speech of how this affects their work life or to relate it to them. I think that when you look at how you keep asking people to step forward and challenging them, having a strong mentoring program can certainly help motivate people to stay in the club. Quality programming and making it interesting and exciting is a great renewal strategy because people want to stay there because they're getting lots and it's interesting and engaging for them. So think about how you motivate your current membership. They don't stay there if you don't look after them. Just think it's the same as a restaurant. If you don't meet their needs, they go somewhere else. There's lots of clubs out there that'll gladly take your members if you don't look after them and build loyalty. So treasure them, train them, help them get what they want. Yeah. And then looking at what your club's plan is to gain new members. So we were talking about this earlier. Do the things that work for your club. So for example, there's open houses. I have never had participation in an open house that was successful. Just my experience. But if somebody said to me, oh, Pat, would you do an open house? I would say, you best get someone else. That is not my area of expertise. I've had no success with that. I can do a membership drive. I can create a whole bunch of other stuff, but open houses are not magic for me. They are for other people. So we have to figure out what we're doing. If it works, do it again. If it doesn't work, don't keep doing it. Find something else. Ask the district, ask your area director, ask your division director, ask some experienced club that you admire how they're advertising. We used Meetup for a while to get back. We went down in membership for a while and we went on to Meetup. Next thing we know, we got a few people and then they all brought their friends and they brought their friends, and 2 multiplies by 2 very quickly. And now 2 new members are asking all their friends, and then all their friends are asking all their friends. So the power of compound interest is amazing when you're looking for new members. So put a plan together and then work that plan. Figure out who's doing it. Okay. Training goals. Well, we've talked about this, and this is basically a checklist for you to check off here. It's not a checklist for you. It's to come and learn something and participate and take it back and share with your club executive what you've learned, or even do a speech at club so people understand what club officer training was like. And then what are some ways to motivate officers to attend COT? Think about that. We used to say, let's all go together. So we would go to COT in person. We would find an in-person and we'd all go together. We'd go for coffee, depending on when it was, we'd go for dinner or coffee or whatever, so that we could all go together and meet and do it, and made it a fun event, and went out after and talked about it. So look at that. Administrative goals, again, work through this and look at the on-time payment. Who's responsible? Oh, sorry for that. Look at membership, put a name down, put a date down, and hold them accountable. Accountability is sharing the desire to get, sharing the responsibility to make something happen. And so support one another in getting it done. And then officer list. And once you get this down as a practice in your club, it can happen almost automatically, just seamlessly. Whoever, don't think someone else is doing, ask who's doing it and put their name down. Okay, so look at what are the obstacles. If you've had difficulty in the past with this, what's the obstacle and how can you overcome it? Again, a good plan, because this is what I call risk management. When we do a project at work, we're always looking at, okay, what are the things that could fall apart? So risk management, and then mitigation of risk. So now what can be done to overcome that? What can we do to make sure this doesn't fall through the cracks? So it's all a transferable skill in project management. So here we have, a discussion when we get down to committee values and processes. And it just talks about the core values, and that you could talk about beyond that, the core values, what the club executive committee follow, how will they follow the international values? So how will integrity look in your club executive meetings? What will service look like in your club? Imagine if every member of your executive embraced and fulfilled that value of service and excellence at your club. What would that look like? A club that was distinguished, an environment that was brought excellence to the learners, that we provided superb service to the customers that come to us to learn communication and leadership skills. So how will the club executive follow those international values? I think that would be a very interesting discussion. How will decisions be made? If the president writes down without saying anything, the president will tell you it might be time to have a critical conversation with them. To think about, well, this is an opportunity for teamwork. This is an opportunity for us to decide how we're going to make decisions. Are we going to vote on it? Are we using parliamentary procedure? Does majority rule? Do we work to consensus? Do we have to get all on the same page? Like, have the discussion. It's an exciting discussion to have, and it's again a very valuable tool to take away just from doing a club success plan in your club. And how will you resolve differences of opinion? I don't know. I'm curious of how you'll do that, because every club has their own culture. Every club has their own environment and way of being. So figure it out, but discuss it, because now you're a unique executive, maybe not worked together before, and you'll have your own opinions, and create that safe place. One of the things I would love to suggest for you to read is Patrick Lencioni's book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. That's #1 book. And the second book that he wrote was The Ideal Team Player. Both of those books are great informative resources for club officers, because it talks about how to build a team and what you need: trust, having difficult conversations, commitment, accountability, and then results in a team. That's the order that it works. And then in the ideal team, which is about us as individuals, he talks about the need for us when we're on a team to be hungry, to want that team to be better than the sum of the parts, that together, that Umanga and Lena and Angel and I work together, and we're way stronger than just the four of us working separately. Like, we would be a force together. And so that's what we want to do, to be hungry, to make things better and move it forward, make our club this shining star in the district, for us, for our reputation and our learning. And that the other part of being an ideal team player, Lencioni talks about, is to be humble, that the team comes first. It's not about I, me, but it's us and we and our club. What do we do for the better of all our members in our club together? And then he talks about being smart. And he specifically refers to, as a team player, being people smart. So I need to learn, as a team member with Lena and Umanga and Angel, who they are, how to respect them, what respect means for them, what gets them excited, what are the places we don't go, all those things that are about building team. And so I encourage you, if you're working new and teams are new for you, those two books are great resources. And one thing about Patrick Lencioni, he shares his information very freely. You can find him online as well, and he doesn't put any restrictions on you using his material. So, and it's very, very helpful and very practical. How will you hold yourselves accountable and one another accountable on your executive committee? Again, looking at, we get there together, we succeed or fail together. It's everybody working together to get over the finish line. How will you hold one another accountable? Again, a transferable skill. I use this all the time in my personal life, as I know you do as well. So there we are. Here's the planning process contributors. You get to sign and date your document that's going to be your legacy in your club down. And please, as if you're the immediate past president, please be a participating role. Please, please do not disappear. Bring your wisdom, bring your learning. You don't have to know all the answers, because the new executive wants to find some of their own. But listen, and if they're going over the cliff, reach out and grab them, but let them explore the cliff for themselves. But be there, don't abandon them. Be there to support them, because there'll be things for you to learn there. And then they've also provided some spaces if you have extra members, because we have a membership coordinator in our club that's an extra club executive office. And we also have a social coordinator. So those people are also included in the club success plan. So you may have some similar ones. And then you've got your actions. So these are all the action items you're going to do for your goals, and the responsible parties and the due dates. Again, just a planning document that you would use in any keep track and responsibility. So that is the end of that. Oh, thank you. Nona put some of Lencioni's material in the chat. That's fantastic. Thank you for all your support in the chat today. And then Anthony talked about the 5 dysfunctions. Yep, that's great. Perfect. Okay. Any questions? I got like 1 minute. Any questions?
Yeah, I saw that Sue had a question.
Oh, okay.
She was asking, I tried to find the question. Okay. Does the form require an entry in every line /box?
I wouldn't say. I have not done it to submit it, and this is a brand new process, but I can't imagine that it does because, for example, those 3 lines where you're adding more people wouldn't need it. There may be a minimum when you're looking at club officers, etc. I might think that there was. Again, honestly, I have not submitted one, so I don't know that answer, but great question. And maybe your district can ask World Headquarters for that and publish that somehow back to you, or you could follow up. Maybe Umanga can find out that and get back to you directly. Yeah, but good question. Yeah. Any other questions? How many of you have your success plan started already? Started, not finished. Elizabeth, you do? Julie? Oh, of course I know Julie does, because Julie's always racing to get to the finish line and be successful. Good for you. Good for you.
Pat,
Okay.
Pat, I'm going to share something real quick so everyone knows you're not alone. As a district, we have to do the same thing. And I'm proud to say ours is already submitted.
Yay.
To let you know, just to let you know, you're not alone. And the district had to do a whole thing as well. So if you need any help, let us know. We're here to help you. We're here to support you. We've already had to do it, so we can help you get yours done.
And I just want to, in closing, acknowledge on that note, bravo to the team for leading so strongly by example and setting the example for all the district leaders. It's important as a leader that we not ask others to do what we don't do. And so Angel, Umanga, District 100 executive team, woohoo, way to go. That's fantastic. Good for you. Well, I just want to wish everybody fun and an insightful discussion and a brilliant time together when you take your team and work towards building your club success plan as you get in through that gate of qualifying criteria and you explode in that arena where you become select, distinguished, presidents distinguished, Smedley's distinguished this year. Why not? Why not you? You deserve it. I deserve it. Certainly the district deserves it as well. I mean, Judy deserves it. Judy, what's your club going to be this year?
We're Smedley distinguished. Is there any other option?
No.
Okay.
No.
There we go.
Okay. Well, it's my pleasure to chat with you tonight about something that I'm obviously very passionate about. And I just wish you excellence in your life in Toastmasters and to take all the skills and just wring them out of Toastmasters and take them into your life and have great success with your increasing self-confidence and personal growth that we get from our club mission and working the program. Back to you, Umanga, and thank you again so much.
Thank you so much, Pat. I really appreciate all your help as a